Welcome back to the Daily 5 podcast. It's your host, Rainy Cage. And it's Friday, which means it's time to talk about the weekend box office reports and what happened last weekend in the box office. Unfortunately, I was not 5 for 5 this weekend, or this past weekend. I actually got 3 of the 5. Let's go through it here. The number 5, I had Baby Driver with 9 million, and at number 4, I had Big Sick with 10 million. What ended up happening was I thought Big Sick was going to do a little bit better than it ended up doing, because number 5 was Big Sick with 7.5 million, and Baby Driver ended up getting 8.7 million. So it's pretty right on with Baby Driver, but I just thought Big Sick was going to do way better. But, you know, it was still pretty close. But from then on out, I had it on pretty much. Despicable Me 3, I had making 16 million in the number 3 spot. It actually made 19.3 million. It's doing a lot better than what I thought it would, mainly because there's no real competition. There's no other kids movies out right now. My number 2, I had Spider-Man Homecoming with 50 million. It actually made 44 million. So it had a bigger drop than I thought, but I think that's because Planet of the Apes really kind of ate into it more than I thought it would. So number 1 was War for the Planet of the Apes. I thought it was going to make 60 million. It made 56 million, so it made a little less than what I thought it was going to. Once again, I think War for the Planet of the Apes and Spider-Man kind of cannibalized each other a little bit. But that was it for the last weekend. You know, let's see. Maybe this weekend is going to be a lot harder to try and predict because you get 3 new releases, and it's just going to be weird. I don't know how things are going to play out, but I'm going to take my best guess. I've looked at the tracking numbers. I'm going to go number 5, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets with $20 million. It seems really low for a sci-fi movie, but I just don't see a lot of buzz around this movie. I'm super excited for it because it's my kind of thing, but I don't think it's going to make that much money. The tracking has it in the high teens, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and go with 20 million for Valerian. My number 4, I'm going to go with Spider-Man Homecoming, $22 million, so a 50% drop from last weekend. You know, I feel like it's not going to drop as much as it did last weekend, but who knows? It may drop more, and maybe Valerian can, make a little bit more. So, but I'm going to go with Spider-Man Homecoming making 22 million. We'll see if it drops as big as it did last weekend, but I think that's a good spot. My number 3, I'm going to go with War for the Planet of the Apes with 24 million. That's a 58% drop. I do think that War for the Planet of the Apes is going to drop because everybody that's going to go see War or wanted to see War, I think is going to go see Dunkirk this weekend. So I think a 60% drop is in its future. So I'm going to give it with 24 million, barely holding the lead over Spider-Man. But, you know, we'll see. My number 2, I'm going to go with Girls Trip. I know this is craziness. I thought this movie looked like complete garbage, but the tracking has it in the high 20s. I'm going to go be a little more conservative and say 25 million for Girls Trip, although I can't believe I'm saying that. If I hadn't seen the tracking numbers, I probably would have maybe not even put Girls Trip in my top 5, but, you know, most of the time the tracking is pretty close. So I'm going to go give it the number 2 spot with 25 million. But like I said, this could be crazy. It may not do as good as what they're saying. Then I'm going to go with my number 1 is going to be Dunkirk. Tracking has it anywhere between 55 to, low 60s. I don't think it's going to do that good. I think I'm going to go with 50 million, which is still going to be plenty good enough to get that number 1 spot. It's a war movie, so, but it's Nolan, so people are going to want to go see it. And I think it's going to do good. We'll see how it shapes up. I plan on seeing Dunkirk and Valerian this weekend. Not going to have to skip out on Girls Trip, but we'll check up on it next weekend. Until next time, this is Rainy Cage. Peace out.